the star of The Apprentice, Donald Trump reveled in doling out his combative catchphrase.
You're fired.
So it should come as no surprise that his presidency contains no shortage of similar altercations, particularly with the media. Here are Trump's most awkward confrontations with reporters. President Trump has locked horns with plenty of reporters since his inauguration, but none seem to get under his skin quite like Jim Acosta. CNN's chief White House correspondent has clashed with the president on countless occasions. When they spoke during a now infamous press conference in November 2018, Acosta didn't even finish his first question before Trump showed his irritation.
Here we go.
If you don't mind, Mr. President.
Come on.
Acosta was questioning the president about the Central American migrant caravan heading towards the U.S. border. Once Acosta challenged the president's characterization of the migrant caravan as an invasion, Trump lost his patience.
Of miles away. That's not an invasion.
Honestly, I think you should let me run the country. You run CNN.
All right.
And if you did it well, your ratings would be much better.
Right after the exchange, a Trump aide tried to take the microphone from Acosta. The reporter's refusal to give up the mic became the subject of debate when the White House accused the journalist of placing his hands on the young female staffer. Acosta had his top-level press pass revoked following the confrontation, but CNN sued, alleging that the administration circulated doctored footage of the incident. The White House soon relented and Acosta's press pass was reinstated. But Acosta is unlikely to forget the dressing down that Trump gave him anytime soon.
I tell you what, CNN should be ashamed of itself having you working for them. You are a rude, terrible person. You shouldn't be working for CNN.
Acosta didn't go undefended. After browbeating Acosta, President Trump turned to NBC's Peter Alexander for the next question. Alexander started off defending his colleague from CNN, but the president was unimpressed.
In Jim's defense, I've traveled with him and watched him. He's a diligent reporter who busts his butt.
Well, I'm not a big fan of yours either, so
I understand.
To be honest.
So let me ask you a question if I can. You repeatedly said...
You aren't the best.
Trump's November 7th press conference wasn't stingy when it came to conflict. While the president's tense back and forth with Jim Acosta and Peter Alexander received most of the media attention, it wasn't the only clash. A little over 2 weeks before the press conference at a rally in Houston, President Trump stoked concerns when he declared himself a nationalist, a word often associated with white supremacists.
It sort of became old-fashioned. It's called a nationalist. And I say, really, we're not supposed to use that word. You know what I am? I'm a nationalist, okay?
When PBS NewsHour's White House correspondent Yamiche Alcindor asked Trump about his use of the word, the president didn't react well. In fact, he called her question racist.
Some people saw that as emboldening white nationalists. Now people are also saying
I don't know why you'd say that. That's such a racist
there
question.
Are some people.
Alcindor pressed on, with the president dismissing her question by repeatedly claiming high poll numbers among African Americans. Just as he did with Acosta, Trump focused less on the question and more on bashing Alcindor for asking it in the first place.
That's such a racist question. Honestly, I mean, I know you have it written down and you're going to tell me. Let me tell you, it's a racist question.
Ultimately, the president said his use of the controversial word was just another way of saying patriotism. But he didn't miss the opportunity to attack Alcindor for her question one last time.
Excuse me, but to say that, what you said, is so insulting to me. It's a very terrible thing that you said.
April Ryan, White House correspondent for American Urban Radio Networks, said she wasn't looking for trouble when she stood up to discuss voter suppression with Trump during his November 2018 presser. She believed that she'd been invited to stand. The trouble was, Trump actually hadn't asked for her question, and he let her know about it.
Sit down, please. Sit down. I didn't call you.
Ryan talked about the experience on The View, saying she had genuinely believed Trump was taking her question. The veteran reporter pointed out that the president actually responded to her question about voter suppression before ordering her to sit.
I thought he was receiving my question and wanted to talk about it. And then when he sees me, he says, sit down, in a very terse tone.
After the press conference outside the White House, Trump trashed some of the journalists he'd clashed with and singled out Ryan as someone who might be banned from the White House in the future.
The same thing with April Ryan. I watch her get up. I mean, you talk about somebody that's a loser. She doesn't know what the hell she's doing.
Long before Trump was president of the United States, the reality TV star and business tycoon made waves when he suggested that President Barack Obama wasn't born in America and was not legally allowed to run for president in 2008. Trump's support of the birther movement made for some pretty uncomfortable confrontations with reporters, like Trump's 2012 phone interview with CNN's Wolf Blitzer. Before Blitzer even managed to ask a question, Trump fired off volleys over his introduction.
I thought your reporter was very inaccurate in his description, and I thought the introduction was totally inappropriate and was actually very dishonest.
When Blitzer asked Trump to elaborate on what his issue was with the introduction, things grew steadily more heated as the future president insulted his interviewer and CNN.
Frankly, if you would report it accurately, I think you'd probably get better ratings than you're getting, which are pretty small.
In spite of complaining he had been assured the birther issue wouldn't be brought up, Trump doubled down on his claims that Obama was not a natural-born citizen. He went so far as to claim the birth announcements printed in Hawaii newspapers shortly after Obama's birth were the beginning of the conspiracy. Things devolved quickly.
Donald, you're beginning to sound a little ridiculous.
In spite of his passion and fury over the subject, Trump's 2016 campaign trail found the future president singing a very different tune.
President Barack Obama was born in the United States, period.
Check out one of our newest videos right here. Plus, even more Nicki Swift videos about your favorite stuff are coming soon. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell so you don't miss a single one.